In Matthew's absence, an overwhelming sense of solitude envelops me. The spacious abode in Clapham, typically a sanctuary of tranquility, now carries a weighty silence in his absence. Matthew works in consulting, which means he frequently travels for his job. At times he vanishes for merely a few days, yet on other occasions he remains absent for an entire week. In his absence, the house seems to echo with a profound emptiness, enveloping me in a cloak of solitude that is almost palpable. It's impossible to feign indifference. Existence takes on a different hue in his absence. Matthew exudes a remarkable steadiness and cheerfulness. Yet in his absence, the world seems to plunge into a dull grayness, devoid of the warmth his presence brings. Each morning, I rise solitary in this expansive room, and upon returning from work, the space resonates with an eerie stillness, reminiscent of a deserted town. Each faint sound resonates with an unsettling stillness, amplifying the sense of emptiness that surrounds me. I've attempted to elevate my spirits with music, immerse myself in binge-worthy shows, or lose myself in audiobooks. Yet none seem to truly alleviate the void within me. After dinner, the emptiness feels even more profound with no one around. Alone in the living room, I found myself seated on the expansive couch, the television flickering softly in the background, yet my mind drifted far from its glow. Thoughts surged through my mind, an unrelenting tide, while that pervasive sense of solitude clung to me like a shadow. All fell silent in my surroundings. It was merely me and the musings of my mind. Fortunately, I had company. Rocky, my loyal Rottweiler, was by my side. He had been my companion for the last 5 years, ever since he was an endearing little puppy full of mischief. Though he could never truly take Matthew's place, Rocky's presence softened the edges of solitude, particularly during Matthew's absences. Rocky stood as the sole companion I could genuinely rely upon. His presence was a constant source of comfort, filling the void I often felt. As I gently stroked his fur and watched his tail wag with joy, it struck me that although Matthew was no longer by my side, I still had a loyal companion right here with me. In moments of solitude, Rocky stood as my unwavering foundation. Though he remained silent, each glance he cast in my direction conveyed a profound understanding of my struggles. Even on those challenging days, when I longed for Matthew, gazing into Rocky's eyes reminded me that I was not alone. Completely solitary in my reflections, what struck me was the realization that my connection with him transcended the mere ownership of a pet. It was profoundly more significant. As the days unfolded, I came to understand that my reliance on him extended beyond merely warding off my solitude. It was for something deeper. The way Rocky gazed at me, consistently present during my moments of uncertainty, made me feel understood in a manner that no one else could replicate. Words were unnecessary. The understanding in his eyes spoke volumes, and that sensation encompassed everything. Despite my efforts to dismiss it, the sensation only intensified with each passing day and night in Matthew's absence. The stillness of the house did more than evoke a sense of emptiness. It was as if Rocky had stepped in to occupy a vast void within me, a void I had been blissfully unaware of until he wove himself into the fabric of my existence. He transcended the role of mere dog or companion. He was woven into the very fabric of my being, awakening facets of my soul I had yet to discover. The moments spent with Rocky nestled beside me, his tail wagging with uncontainable joy, stirred emotions within me that ran far deeper than mere affection. It transcended mere friendship. That sensation grew stronger with each moment he rested at my feet, simply existing there as I caressed his velvety coat. A powerful unseen connection enveloped us. At times, I found myself pondering whether I was encountering something extraordinary, a connection that eluded precise description, yet I was certain of its authenticity. He had an uncanny ability to perceive my moments of despair or the times I craved solace simply existing in the space beside me, transforming the weight of solitude into something a touch lighter. His gaze imbued with compassion and insight. A powerful pull gripped my heart, yet truth be told, I found myself increasingly relying on Rocky regardless of my feelings about it. He had woven himself into the very fabric of my existence, an undeniable presence that I could no longer ignore or dismiss as insignificant. In moments of solitude, my mind began to unravel its complexities, revealing a profound truth while I sought a companion to support me. Rocky had steadfastly remained by my side, a loyal friend, unwavering in his devotion. He transcended the role of a mere companion during those hushed evenings. He gradually evolved into an essential presence in my existence. Our connection transcended the mere ownership of a dog. It evolved into a profound relationship that surpassed my wildest expectations. In moments of emptiness, the simple act of reaching down to caress his velvety fur transformed my world, bringing solace and warmth to my heart. The world around me seemed to envelop me in a warm embrace. The warmth emanating from Rocky's body enveloped me in a tender embrace, soothing the unspoken worries and aches that lingered within. The peculiar aspect was that each time I gazed into Rocky's luminous eyes, I perceived not merely a dog, but a genuine companion. He didn't merely reach me on an emotional level. It felt as though he could perceive the shattered fragments of my soul that I was too afraid to face. Each glance he cast my way brimmed with a profound understanding and a comforting warmth, as if he had been intimately acquainted with my emotions for an eternity, patiently awaiting the moment I would finally recognize it. The relationship between Rocky and me had gradually evolved into an unyielding force, an unseen yet potent link that was unlike anything I had ever experienced. As I sat alone on the couch in my tranquil room one evening, a thought crossed my mind. Matthew's absence no longer weighed on me as it once did. I still loved him, yet the void within me resonated with a new, unfamiliar echo. Rocky, in his quietude, revealed to me the art of discovering tranquility in solitude and confronting the profound thoughts I had long avoided. I came to understand that it wasn't merely companionship I sought. It was someone who truly understood me, even in the smallest details. There were evenings when I could. Sleep eluded me as my thoughts raced, yet Rocky lay beside me, his head resting on my leg, a silent vow of companionship. With each breath he drew, I sensed it deeply. He was more than a mere dog. He was a genuine companion. In my darkest moments, he stood by me a silent guardian, whose presence alone enveloped me in a cocoon of safety. In that instant, I realized that our connection transcended the boundaries of ordinary friendship. We were not merely two souls occupying the same realm. There was a profound connection that transcended the ordinary. This bond is truly unique, a connection that eludes me with anyone else, not even with Matthew or any other companion. Rocky transcends the role of a loyal friend. He embodies a piece of my very essence, a fragment of my soul. The thought of life without him is unfathomable. Each day, I sense the subtle transformation in my relationship with Matthew. An indescribable feeling stirs within me, a vague distance that remains elusive. We have constructed a sturdy life together, yet it seems there is something deeper waiting to be uncovered. A nagging sensation lingers, suggesting that our connection has settled into a predictable rhythm. The mornings no longer resonate with laughter, and the late nights have faded into mere silence. Matthew and I find ourselves ensnared in our separate realms. He frequently departs on business excursions, leaving me in solitude, with only Rocky for company. It pains me to admit, but each time Matthew departs, I feel the weight of our separation more acutely. The distance between us transcends the physical. It resonates deeply on an emotional level as well. We have become so accustomed to one another and the rhythms of our everyday existence that we have lost our focus on the things that truly matter. Our conversations lack the depth they once held, and our embraces no longer carry the warmth they used to possess. At times it seems as though we inhabit the same dwelling, yet exist in entirely separate realms. I find myself questioning whether we truly understand one another these days. In the midst of it all, Rocky remains steadfast, a constant presence by my side. He refrains from probing into matters I prefer to keep private, never casts a shadow of guilt over my uncommitted actions, and certainly withholds any judgment. Rocky requires no words. He simply remains by my side in silence. I was astonished by the depth of Rocky's understanding, a connection I had never anticipated. In those fleeting instances of uncertainty, his gaze would meet mine, a silent reminder that solitude was but an illusion. The connection I shared with Rocky was deepening, growing ever stronger. He was an unwavering support that I simply couldn't ignore. Then one day, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and confronted a truth I had been evading. I had relied on Rocky far too heavily. He had become the sole confidant with whom I could unveil my emotions and concerns, free from the fear of judgment. I had truly relied on his comprehension. I sought to fill the void that Matthew remained oblivious to. Was I seeking solace in the companionship of a dog? Did I place too much trust in a connection that perhaps never should have been formed? A surge of guilt enveloped me, overwhelming and inescapable, yet I found myself powerless to resist. Rocky remained my steadfast companion, ever present in moments of need. In a world perpetually in flux, during moments of profound disorientation, there existed but one sanctuary where I found genuine love and understanding, and that sanctuary was with Rocky. That sensation drew me further into the depths of the emotions I was exploring. In those fleeting moments, it struck me with an undeniable clarity that what I had been yearning for was encapsulated in the essence of Rocky. It seemed as though a piece of my past relationship slipped away, a connection that only Rocky and I truly understood. An unseen tether bound me, rendering escape a daunting challenge, even in moments of desire for liberation. This relationship, while far from flawless, enveloped me in a sense of love I had never known, even in my time with Matthew. With the passage of each day, a lingering thought occupied my mind. Was I perhaps too dependent on Rocky? Or was I in pursuit of an elusive something that remained just beyond my grasp? This relationship was a challenge I could never face. The strange sensation within me continued to swell an unquenchable blaze that resisted all my attempts to douse it. In Rocky, I discovered a connection unlike any other, an understanding that transcended language, an inexplicable bond that defied explanation. Rocky stood by my side, offering unwavering support, without ever seeking anything in return. Simply existing in that moment was sufficient. Yet as I approached him, an unsettling sense of complexity began to envelop me. Having Rocky around brought me immense joy. I cherished the way he was just present. It was in part my own doing. Yet he also illuminated the voids in my existence, voids I had long concealed and was reluctant to acknowledge. As I confronted those emotions, a question lingered in my mind. Could this be love, asserting itself and overshadowing all my other connections? In all honesty, I cannot refute the fact that each time Matthew departed, the bond I shared with Rocky seemed to deepen significantly. Rocky was more than just the last friend I had. He had woven himself into the very fabric of my existence. He understood me so deeply, it was as if he could sense emotions I struggled to articulate. In those fleeting moments, it dawned on me that I needed to offer a fragment of my heart to Rocky, something I had reserved solely for Matthew. At times it seemed as though I was ensnared in a bewildering reality, one that I struggled to navigate. How might I articulate this sensation? How could I convince myself that I craved more than merely a partner? I longed for a soulmate, someone who could truly perceive and comprehend all that I was unable to express to anyone else. Yet this gentle need for him evolved into a profound connection, rendering it impossible for me to part ways with Rocky. It seemed as though I existed in a realm where only he and I were present. No Matthew, no one else to intrude. Reluctance gripped me as I confronted these emotions. The truth loomed large that I was adrift in a relationship that perhaps I never should have entered. Yet beneath the surface, I felt an undeniable bond, one that transcended the limits of language. In that moment, a thought began to take shape in my mind. Perhaps I had at last discovered what I had been seeking all this time. I came to understand that I had discovered a truly extraordinary friendship, one brimming with genuine selfless love that I had never encountered before. The thought lingered in my mind, weaving a tapestry of confusion within me. As I sat beside Rocky, my fingers gliding through his soft fur, a realization washed over me. I possessed something truly special. Perhaps it was time to acknowledge that what we seek does not always emerge from the places we expect. Perhaps I have discovered precisely what I was searching for in this steadfast companion, a genuine soulmate. It wasn't until it was too late that I realized just how much I truly needed this. Each moment I spent in quietude with Rocky, gently stroking his velvety coat, enveloped me in an unusual yet profound sense of solace. In those moments it seemed as though time had come to a halt. All else dissolved into the background, leaving only the two of us enveloped in a comforting silence. Even if it lasted only a fleeting moment, that sensation illuminated the truth. I sought not merely companionship, but a sanctuary, a realm where I could shed my burdens and allow my heart to find solace. It was during instances such as these that I began to truly discover who I was, confronting the harsh reality I've long evaded. Not every connection revolves around individuals, and companions aren't always who we perceive them to be. Rocky, embodying unwavering loyalty and heartfelt affection, revealed to me that solace can emerge from the most unexpected sources. He offered no judgment, nor made any demands. He simply existed in my life. His mere presence compelled me to face my own reflection, and though I struggled to articulate that sensation, it resonated within me with each breath he drew. He required neither words nor actions. Yet Rocky's eyes, oh, those eyes, held a depth of understanding and a gentle warmth. They mirrored each emotion, every thought I feared to acknowledge. His mere existence breathed life into the voids within my heart that I struggled to comprehend. Each time I gazed into the mirror, a stark reality confronted me. My dependence on Rocky had deepened in ways I struggled to articulate. He wove himself into the fabric of my existence, a presence I could no longer envision my life devoid of. At times, I pondered whether I was evading something more profound, an emotion I was reluctant to confront. Loneliness enveloped me, and I found myself at a loss, struggling to navigate life in the absence of Rocky. Yet it was within his silence that he revealed to me the truth that solace isn't always found in spoken language. At times, merely having a presence beside you, even if it's a dog, can suffice to soothe those unvoiced anxieties. Rocky transformed in my eyes from merely a dog to a steadfast companion, a source of inspiration, a beacon of hope during my moments of uncertainty. During those endless dreary days when solitude enveloped me, it was Rocky who instilled in me a sense of purpose, a reason to rise from my slumber. Each dawn brought with it a renewed motivation to forge ahead. As I sat in the stillness accompanied only by Rocky, a realization washed over me. Our connection transcended mere silence. It was profound, a form of spiritual salvation that eluded me in every other corner of my life. Words eluded me as I grappled with my emotions, yet one truth stood resolute amidst the relentless tide of change. Rocky emerged as my unwavering anchor, the singular source of profound tranquility. As those moments wove themselves into the fabric of my daily existence, I came to understand that my affection for Rocky transcended mere friendship. It was a profound necessity, akin to a lifeline that eluded precise articulation. Amidst the turmoil of my emotions, one truth stood resolute. This bond bridged a void in my existence that I had yet to discover how to address through any other means. As I gazed into Rocky's eyes, I discovered a solace and reassurance I had never realized I was searching for. There were instances when I sensed I was testing my own limits, and it left me feeling somewhat dependent on him. Dog yet. Rocky revealed to me that love often emerges from unexpected places. Occasionally, the roots of empathy and connection can be found in the most unexpected corners of life. Each time I caressed his velvety fur as he rested beside me on those tranquil evenings, that's the sensation that enveloped me. Loneliness had ceased to be a companion of mine. It dawned on me that not every instance of loneliness can be alleviated by the spoken word or gestures. At times, solace is simply found in the presence of another. Silence speaks volumes. Simply sharing the space is enough. When I came to the realization that I couldn't adequately articulate the bond I shared with Rocky, it dawned on me just how profound it truly was. It dawned on me that my existence transcended Matthew and anyone else regardless of their presence in my life. Rocky remained an immense presence in my life. He was not merely a substitute for anyone. He embodied my inspiration and served as a quiet companion I could rely on in challenging moments. This friendship, with all its accompanying nuances, is what truly holds significance. It has guided me through the shadows of loneliness and allowed me to find joy in the smallest of moments. When I contemplate the future now, the fear and uncertainty that once gripped me have lessened. I realize that regardless of what lies ahead, I have Rocky by my side, a steadfast companion who is irreplaceable. Truly, that is perhaps the most vital element I seek in life.